You played 3 years at Kentucky for the Wildcats, great Division I baseball program. Can you talk to me about that program there and, your experience playing at Kentucky?
Yeah, absolutely. My first 2 years was kind of like we were all trying to keep our head above water. It felt like we really didn't have as good of a team as we liked. My junior year, we had a blast. We brought back a lot of guys that were there for the 3 years that I was there. They were in my class and built a lot of good relationships. We were number one in the country for a few weeks. Came up a little short at the end, but just the positive energy that I got to finish college on, it really translated into pro ball for me and made me, kind of re-fall in love with the game again.
You would be drafted by the Rays organization after your junior year. You'd play a few years in their organization all the way up to Major League Baseball. Can you talk to me about that Rays organization, what they mean to you, for what they taught you, and how they developed you as a player?
I got a lot of good things to say about them. I could probably talk all day about that organization. They were fantastic. There was a lot of good people there, too many to name. A lot of good relationships. Learned a lot along the way about just kind of how to be a pro, I think, is the main thing that I took away. I had a lot of good people that were older than me that were having a lot of success in the major leagues before I did, and they really showed me what it's like to kind of handle the ups and downs and always kind of be the same guy and have an even-keeled approach. And I needed it too, because this past year's been a little bit hectic for me coming over to my first new organization and meeting some more good people over here.
On September 1st, 2015, you were September call-up for the Rays, and you went up to Major League Baseball to make your Major League debut. Can you talk to me about that feeling, first Major League game, MLB debut, and that feeling of that you're a Major League Baseball player, you just achieved all your dreams?
Yeah. I mean, you said it all right there, to be honest with you. It's kind of it's a spike in emotion for sure. My first game was at Camden Yards in Baltimore, playing against the Orioles. Still a competitive game for both teams. There was still a little bit of that fall baseball in the air where we were trying to compete and maybe grab a wild card spot. Didn't work out, but there was a lot of energy and there was a lot of big names that I got a chance to play across from and play with.
You've played a couple of seasons in Major League Baseball. You started off this year, played a little in the majors with the Blue Jays. What have you taken away, or what do you think about that MLB atmosphere? As we just talked about, everybody's dream. It doesn't get much better. What have you taken away from, playing in front of 40,000 people, that whole experience?
I think the toughest part is, trying not to become numb to it. You got to remember that first day that you were in there, you recognize that it was all you wanted to do your entire life. And when you play 162 of them, sometimes it can get a little monotonous, and you never want to lose sight of the fact that it's about the best job in the entire world. And I think if you have that mentality, it's easier to handle some of the down days, and it's easier to handle some successes too, where you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. I think, like I said, it's the ultimate job. I would put it up against any other profession in the world. I'm excited that I get a chance to be a part of a pretty small fraternity of major leaguers, and I hope it continues for a long time.
What's been the biggest lesson that professional baseball has taught you?
Patience. I would say patience for sure. I think that it's one of those things where you want to go up and you want to have success right away, and what you realize is when you think you got it figured out, you don't, and when you think you don't have any clue, something good usually happens. It's a little bit of a paradox in that regard. I'm lucky to have a lot of good people around me, though. I've got a good family. I got a great wife. I got a lot of support system in my life.
All right, thank you so much for coming on today.
You got it.